I hate being vulnerable. I hate telling stories about myself because I don't like to share. I like being really secretive and really quiet about my life. I've always felt that if I shared vulnerabilities, then someone could leverage that against me. Although I don't know if that ever really happened, but I feel like whenever you decide to tell someone or share someone, whenever you decide to tell somebody about something about you, there's always this level of vulnerability where they can use that against you. I guess maybe it has happened when I was younger, but I wanted to record a video when you decide to go all in. When you decide to go all in, and what does that feel like and what does that mean? And I don't know if I'm really all the way in. I know mentally I am, but I feel like every day I can take steps further and further of being all in. And it means different things at different times and at different levels. And I bet on myself. Oh, 100%. It took years to get to this place, and I bet the house on me. And I still feel like there's resistance of jumping all the way in. And again, it's like showing up in a certain way every day. Some things are in front in public, some things are behind the scenes, and just getting that momentum going and building the vision that I see. I have always felt this knowing of wanting to do something bigger for the world to serve, knowing that I have something to offer, but also knowing when I have in the past with just one-on-one what those relationships have been like and how it gets kind of twisted. So there's always a hesitancy to just jump. But I jumped. I jumped a while back. And there's I wanted to make this for those of you that want to jump in and are still hesitant, and just to kind of talk through like that journey, because it's always a journey. We're never really done until we're done of what that journey is like, of saying, I have this vision in life, I have these dreams that I want to go after. I want to manifest my life, and I want to be able to also just let it come to me when it's ready. And that yin and yang energy of taking action and then being receptive, and taking action and being receptive, and knowing timing of when to do things and the highs and lows. And when you start to go all in and just say, you know what, I'm going to do the thing that I want to do. I see this vision. I know I have a better life that I want to grab a hold of and have. It's the most exhilarating, freeing feeling you could possibly have. Like it is like literal wind beneath your wings. Like there's nothing like it. But there's also the other side of full 100% accountability and responsibility. And I love accountability. I love accountability because I get to be in my power. There's nobody that can take that away from me. So if somebody plays in my face and does something silly, I still own that. I still get to decide if I want to play, even if I feel like they've somehow disrespected me or done something. I don't really put too much energy in that. I just decide I can continue to play or I can continue not to play. So I love that part. But when it comes to my life and what I'm doing and how I'm showing up, you get the full range. It's like the full range of living, a full range of experiencing life, of when I show up, what are the results? And does it even matter what the results are? The results are that I showed up. I'm doing this for me and the benefit of doing it for me. And hopefully there's a ripple effect of that. And then on the other side, when I don't show up, when I hesitate, when I kind of get stuck in any sort of fear, any sort of hesitation, really it's more hesitation than fear or anxiety of like, it's really, I'm not doing what I should be doing. And it's such a great reality check of, okay, if I'm getting this feeling, I need to adjust. It's as simple as that. That's why that feeling is there. I don't need to hold on to it. I don't need to overanalyze it. It just means I'm not directing my energy in the right place. Nobody gets out of this, like we all get to experience this. Even the most expert of people who stand up on stage and talk, they know how to talk about this because they have to go through this as well. They don't really get out of it either. They're just quicker at going through it. So this feeling of like just jumping in and doing the thing that you want to do, there's no other way to live. which is kind of crazy. Like I've definitely played it safe for a long time. I'm 45. I've done the like safe bet and then kind of dipped my toe into things, and it just prolonged the inevitable. And the universe, God, life force was just like, you can't keep repeating these things. We're going to put you in the same scenario over and over again. We're going to put you in the same exact environment so that you learn you're a leader, you can't be led. This is what I was learning when I was in certain corporate jobs. I can't be led with anybody. And I really have to govern myself at a certain point of knowing how I need to navigate through the world. I've honed in my intuition really well. Is it perfection? No. I mean, no one's perfect, but I can really get a sense of things when I know how to like equalize and like adjust my equilibrium, adjust my natural state in my body. If that makes any sense. Meaning like I being in calm, peace, just allowing the emotions to come up. There's so many emotions going on right now. I was exhausted for the last couple of days, and now it's just like I have all this energy and I want to share some things and just maybe document it. Doesn't even matter who watches this, but just for those that do want to jump in, and I totally understand, and this is why I'm building this kind of community and this kind of channel to just talk about the mental mind field that we have to go through and the mindset shifts and the energetics and the emotional intelligence around it. I didn't have anyone around me. I had parents that had, poverty mindset. I would dig myself into a hole, and then I have to kind of figure out how to get myself out of it over and over again. There wasn't the internet. I didn't have the internet. I couldn't look things up. We didn't have the resources that we have today to figure this stuff out and understand not only like the science behind it, but just all of the other like esoteric teachings behind it. I was just literally on my own having to figure it out. And I spent a lot of years wallowing in the bottom of the barrel, trying to like figure it out. And once I started getting into these spiritual teachings, learning more, understanding how law of attraction, mindset shifts, spiritual teachings work, and how easy it is to shift the mindset of saying, I'm not worthy to, I have so much value and worth. I have so much love to give. I have so much love to receive. It's just a matter of like shifting the mindset like in a snap. And it happens. Like this morning, I was thinking of something and I was getting, I don't know, there's sometimes we just like to get a little like grumbly and we like to get a little agitated and we get a little, let's like a vent a little bit. And I think it took about 5 seconds for me to realize I don't want to be here. This isn't going to serve me at all. And I flipped the script and I found the blessing in the thing that I wanted. I figured out what it was that I needed. And I was already manifesting certain things. I have people in my life, and it was like the relationships needed to kind of shift a little bit. And sure enough, I got a new relationship coming in for mentorship, which was really fantastic. And both were wonderful. All of it's wonderful. And just the timing and the flow and being in alignment and just letting things roll out have been amazing, have been absolutely amazing. And also being able to allow that flow of life, because you don't know, like I I like to plan things. I like to have things organized. But as soon as I do that, I tend to throw them out the window and then I just sort of go with the flow. But there's something about my logical brain that needs to have everything in order for me to feel like I have some sense of knowing so that I can pivot. I think that's really what it is. So that if I need to pivot, I've already kind of mapped out a couple things in my mind and I know where to go. And then the spaces in between aren't that big of a deal. But when you're carving out your own path, when you're really listening to your own intuition and there's something that you really are called to do, the map shows up the moment before, the day before, it just happens. Like and you have to trust that it's going to come through. You have to be attentive to the signs around you and the synchronicities and everything to get to know what the next step is. I look at life as if was a dream. If I'm in a waking dream, everything from birds to sounds to signposts to numbers to everything is in my reality communicating to me, telling me you're on the right path, or if I need to pivot and veer a little bit over to some other direction or confirmation. as well. And it's magical. It's absolutely magical and illuminating. And you have to have a really strong level of trust with God, with the universe, with yourself to know that whatever you've decided in your mind can happen. And that's really the key of like this taking a leap of faith and jumping. There's this really strong level of inner trust that has to happen of I trust myself that no matter how life starts to show itself in the three-dimensional world and the reality in front of me, things can change pretty quickly and I can handle whatever's in front of me because I've anchored myself within. I've anchored myself into myself so that I know how to regulate my emotions, how to understand how I'm thinking about things logically, intuitively. And then I just experience and enjoy. And most of the time, it's been pretty amazing. And I've noticed that whenever I goes both ways, whatever you want to decide about yourself and who you are, you're going to see it reflected. When I have really doubled down and poured down on this self-love and just like it's not selfish at all. It's just me and my little world letting me know that I love me, like parenting my inner child. I have people that will wave that are in cars in my like in my neighborhood. I don't know who they are, but there's this kinship of like, oh, this like-mindedness. Animals love to come up to me. People like to smile and engage with me. And that's not like that's usually been the case, but it like amplifies even more. Or like being able to exchange with just absolute strangers who are just the nicest human beings because I'm amplifying out this certain type of frequency. I'm giving myself love so people are magnetized to that to want to love back. And then I can see the love in them, the God self in them. And it's just this beautiful exchange. And those that don't resonate, it's we're so far from each other and repelled, we're not even in the same environment. And those little pieces help make this journey and this path that I'm trying to carve out and figure out step by step really amazing. And that only happens when I've decided to lead myself and go forward and pick a path. And that's not for everyone. It's really not for the faint of heart. You know, anytime you want to go on any sort of entrepreneurial journey and do things for yourself, it is a call. It is a call to have a spiritual journey. It's a call that your soul is saying to like to come home to yourself and to be united to yourself. There's no other way around it. It's never about the money. The money's the byproduct of the exchange that you have with the rest of the world and how you serve and show up and what you can offer. And it's kind of magnificent, but it's also, I feel like the scariness of it and the fearness of it is just you telling yourself that you're actually alive, that there's no more numbing out anymore, and that it's just one extreme of an emotion. That fear can be turned into anticipation and excitement. It's just how you want to frame the thinking behind it. And there's always a sense of what ifs, what ifs, what ifs, but people are going to talk no matter what. And they're always talking or looking or projecting from where they are to where you are. Like everyone's in their own world, figuring out, and most people like to compare. Well, if you're over here doing this and I'm over here, how dare you do this thing when I'm over here and I can't do it? It's about them. It's never about you, it's about them. So let it go. Let it go. It doesn't even matter. It really doesn't even matter because you're having the experience of yourself doing the thing that you love doing anyway. Because you're in this, you're in this, you're in this until you're not. And when you look back, when I look back, when I want to look back on my life, I want to feel so proud of like you took the chance, you took the risk, you made the mistakes, you learned from it, you pivoted, you grew even more. You were successful in my own right, by my own terms, and everything that I wanted to produce, everything that I wanted to put out in the world, I did it. Whatever the benefit is, whatever the result is, doesn't matter. I did it. And I'm excited for it and I'm grateful. I'm grateful to my past self that I got to do the things that I did, and my future self is going to be proud of me for doing all the things that I wanted to do along the way. And so if you ever have any of this feeling of, I hate to be vulnerable, I don't want to put my neck out there. I'm afraid to get out of my comfort zone. Is the comfort zone really that comfortable? Because if you just feel numb and bored and kind of like meh in life, maybe that is the sign that you need to feel more and live more and do more and impress yourself. Be proud of yourself. It's really you against you at the end of the day and the thoughts running in your head. It's really that simple to shift. So take the chance, just jump in, get used to the water. We're all doing this together. We're all figuring this out together. You got this. You got this. I got this. We're doing this together. And we're going to make the life that we dream of, that we see other people doing, that we see other people having. If you have it in your head to do something else, to be something else, to live a certain life a certain way, it's for you. It's absolutely for you. There's no way you'd have this vision. I used to think that. I used to think that as well. Like, why do I have all these visions and these thoughts in my head? Well, if I'm not having it, well, it's just me not participating enough as I need to. I need to jump into it. I need to do the thing and I need to show up in a way that I hadn't before. And it's just a learning curve. And I don't need to shame myself for it. I just show up and I do the best that I can every single day. So I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And I look forward to seeing what your dreams are and how you manifest them out into the world. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.